Welcome to Supernatural Tales from Mammal's Front Porch, the podcast where ghost stories aren't just campfire tales, they're family tradition. I'm Heather Perrin, author, lover of haunted history, believer in the unexplained, and your host for this storytelling journey into eerie folklore, fictional frights, and true paranormal encounters from around the United States. Each week, I'll be sharing tales that are a little strange, a little spine-tingling, and maybe, just maybe, true. So grab a mason jar of sweet tea, pull up a chair, and settle in. Because here on Mammal's Front Porch, we believe the veil is just a little thinner when the sun goes down, and the stories, well, they have a way of finding you. There are some houses that seem to watch you the moment you step onto the porch. Whispers Estate in Mitchell, Indiana is one of those places. From the outside, it looks like a beautiful old Victorian home, the kind of house that should feel warm and welcoming, with large windows, detailed woodwork, and the sort of charm that makes you think of family gatherings and holidays. But many visitors say that that feeling changes the closer they get. The air seems heavier, the silence seems deeper, and by the time they step through the front door, many describe the unsettling sense that the house has been waiting for them. Welcome back to Supernatural Tales from Mammal's Front Porch. I'm Heather, and today we're heading to southern Indiana to explore one of the Midwest's most famous haunted locations. Whispers Estate has built a reputation that stretches far beyond the town of Mitchell. Paranormal investigators, history enthusiasts, and curious visitors travel from all over to spend some time inside its walls and decide for themselves whether the stories are true. They come hoping to hear the whispers, experience the unexplained, and understand why so many people leave convinced that something unusual is happening there. To understand why this house has earned such a reputation, we have to go back to the beginning and start with its history. The home was built in or around 1894 and has passed through several owners over the years. It was originally built by Dr. George and Sarah White. Much of what people believe about Whispers Estate today comes from a mix of documented history, local legend, and stories passed down through generations. Like many old houses, the line between fact and folklore has blurred over time. One of the families most closely connected to the house was that of Dr. John Gibbons and his wife Jessie. Dr. Gibbons was a physician in Mitchell, and like many small-town doctors of that era, he often treated patients from his home. The house wasn't just a place where a family lived, it was also a place where people came to seek help during some of the most important and difficult moments of their lives. Within these walls, there were celebrations, illnesses, recoveries, heartbreaks, and, of course, loss. Jessie Gibbons became known in local stories as a woman who cared deeply for children. According to the accounts most often shared today, she opened their home to children who needed help and support. Now, whether every detail of those stories can be verified is difficult to say, but they remain an important part of the house's legend and the reason many people associate the home with the spirits of children. But as much as this house became known as a place of care and compassion, it also became the center of stories marked by tragedy. One of the most well-known stories connected to Whispers Estate is that of a little girl named Rachel. According to legend, Rachel was one of the children who lived in the home during the Gibbons era. The story says she loved Christmas and was playing near a Christmas tree when her clothing accidentally caught fire. Despite every effort to save her, she reportedly died from her injuries in an upstairs room of the house. Whether the story can be fully verified today remains uncertain, but it has become one of the most enduring pieces of the house's folklore. Many visitors believe they still encounter Rachel. Some report hearing the sound of a child running through the hallway. Others describe faint giggles, small footsteps on the staircase, or the feeling of a tiny hand brushing against theirs. A few visitors have even reported seeing what appears to be the figure of a young girl standing near a doorway before disappearing moments later. According to local accounts, another child known as Elizabeth also died in the home. This appears to be an infant, though the exact details surrounding her death are unclear, and different versions of the story offer different explanations. Visitors to the nursery often report hearing sounds that remind them of a baby crying or the creak of a rocking chair moving when no one is nearby. Whether these experiences are paranormal or simply the power of suggestion is impossible to know, but they continue to be among the most frequently reported stories associated with the room. Many visitors also believe that Jessie Gibbons herself never really left the house. Reports often include the scent of perfume appearing in empty rooms, the sound of a woman humming in a hallway, or the sensation of a gentle touch on the shoulder. Some visitors have described seeing what appears to be a woman in period clothing standing quietly near the staircase before fading from view. But as much as Whispers Estate is associated with children and family stories, many visitors believe there is also something else there as well, something a bit darker. Over the years, numerous guests and paranormal investigators have reported encounters with a presence that feels very different from the others. It is also often described as a dark shadow figure. Sorry, I cannot talk today, guys. I'm not feeling great, so my words keep getting mixed up. I apologize for that. Anyway, some people claim to have seen it in the master bedroom, while others report encounters in the attic or basement. Witnesses frequently describe an overwhelming feeling of unease, as though they are being watched by something that doesn't really want them there. The master bedroom is often considered one of the most active areas of the house. Visitors report waking during the night to the sensation of someone sitting on the edge of the bed. Others claim to have felt blankets tugged or heard breathing nearby when no one else was present. Some paranormal investigators have reported capturing electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs, that appear to contain words or phrases. Skeptics argue these recordings can be explained by audio contamination or the tendency of the human brain to find patterns in random sounds, while believers see them as evidence of something unexplained. The parlor is where the house truly earns its name. Visitors frequently report hearing whispers while sitting quietly in the room. Some describe what sounds like distant conversations. Others hear a single word or the faint sound of someone speaking just beyond earshot. Whether those sounds have a paranormal explanation remains a matter of personal interpretation. I personally believe they are, even though I've never been in the house. But they are the experiences that ultimately inspired the name Whispers Estate. The staircase is another focal point for strange factors. Visitors often hear footsteps climbing the stairs when no one is around. Others describe feeling as though someone is walking directly behind them as they go up or down. Some have even reported feeling a hand on their back while climbing the staircase, only to turn around and find that they are alone. The attic remains one of the areas that many investigators feel the most uncomfortable in. It's dark, it's cramped, and it's filled with the kinds of forgotten belongings that naturally spark the imagination. Visitors report hearing footsteps overhead, knocks on the walls, and whispers that seem to come from multiple directions at once. Some have described sudden feelings of dizziness or nausea while spending time there. Whether those experiences stem from environmental factors, suggestion, or something paranormal, well, that remains open to debate, though there, I feel, is enough evidence to say this place is for sure haunted. The basement inspires similar reactions, cold, damp, and shadowy. It feels exactly like the kind of place where ghost stories are born. Visitors have reported hearing footsteps behind them, unexplained noises moving across the floor, and seeing dark shapes standing just beyond the reach of a flashlight. Many describe an overwhelming sense of being watched while underground. Whispers Estate is one of those places where the line between history and legend feels especially thin. The house has witnessed generations of lives, and with them came joy, heartbreak, hope, fear, and loss. Whether those emotions can somehow leave an imprint on a place is a question no one has been able to answer. Yet many people who walk through the house leave convinced that something remains. What makes this place so fascinating isn't simply the stories of death associated with it. It's the stories of life. This was a place where families gathered, where children were cared for, where people sought medical help, and where difficult moments unfolded behind closed doors. Like many historic homes, it became a witness to the full range of human experience. People who visit there today, whether they're paranormal investigators, history enthusiasts, skeptics, or simply curious travelers, almost always leave with a story. They talk about whispers they can't explain. They talk about footsteps in empty hallways and cold spots that seem to move from room to room. They talk about the feeling of being watched, not by one presence, but by several. Perhaps most intriguing are the stories from visitors who say the experience didn't end when they left. Some report vivid dreams, unusual sounds in their homes, or a lingering feeling that something followed them after their visit. Now, there is no evidence that attachments occur, and many investigators remain skeptical of such claims. Still, the stories persist, adding yet another layer to the mystery surrounding one of Indiana's most talked about haunted locations. So if you ever get the chance to visit, don't go in looking for big dramatic moments. Pay attention to those small things, that faint sound of a child's laugh, the creak of an old rocking chair, or a whisper that seems to drift through an otherwise empty room. Whether those experiences come from the paranormal, the power of suggestion, or something in between is for you to decide. I have never been to Whispers Estate, and I have found a lot of stories from different investigators who all say the same thing. I've also found a lot of skeptics who try to dispute the facts. I live only a short distance. I'm in Indianapolis. Mitchell is an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe an hour. I'm not really sure. I'd have to look at a map. But it's not that far from us, really. So I would love to get down there and visit one day, even if it was just a walkthrough, to see what I felt. If I ever do, I will make a new episode on this gorgeous place. And I've seen pictures and it is absolutely stunning. So anyway, thank you for joining me for this episode of Supernatural Tales from Mammal's Front Porch. Next week, we're going to head right next door to Ohio in the Punderson Manor. I hope you'll join us. Until then, thank you for spending time on the porch with me. If you liked today's episode, be sure to follow the show, leave a review, and tell a friend who loves a good spooky story. You can also find me on Facebook at Supernatural Tales from Mammal's Front Porch for more updates, behind-the-scenes fun, and the occasional eerie extra. And if you'd like to support the podcast, and get access to bonus content, sneak peeks, and more, come visit me over on Patreon. I'd love to have you join me on the front porch. All of these things will be linked in the show notes. This has been Supernatural Tales from Mammal's Front Porch, and I'm your host, Heather. Keep your porch light on. You never know who or what might stop by.